You're watching the Highlight Zone with Wayne 15 Sports Director Glenn Marini. Local sports coverage you can count on.
Just winning, we all in, just winning. We all in, just winning. We all in, just winning.
This program's been here for 65 years, and we've only had 5 conference championships.
Over the past 2 years, everyone's doubted us, and we feel like we've stepped up.
We have to want it more. The loose balls, diving on the floor, limiting turnover. That's always going to play a big factor when it's championship for us.
It should be very packed in the stands. A lot of people have been talking about it, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, it may be bitter cold out there, but conference races are indeed heating up here on the Highlight Zone. On this Valentine's Day, we're not stupid, but we will be your basketball Cupid. Instead of flowers, chocolate, jewelry, whatever, you're going to love this matchup in the SAC as Colton Howard joins you now with your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Colton.
Hey Glenn, after losing its SAC opener, the Snider Panthers putting themselves behind the 8 ball to start the season. But the Panthers have climbed back, and a win tonight would clinch the SAC title for the Panthers. A win by Luers, though, and things get pretty interesting. Snider's at Bishop Luers. It's your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Snider's ranked 14th in this week's 4A state poll. Bishop Luers ranked 14th in the 3A state poll. First quarter, Snider with the ball. Dylan Duff flings the ball over the cross court to Michael Ely for the 3. Ely's cooking early. The Panthers go on a 7-0 run to start the game. End of the first, Nick Thompson drives inside. Basket's up and good. Foul is called. The freshman cutting the Panther lead to single digits, and the fans letting you know he's a freshman. To the second quarter, Jalen Causey showing his range. The senior splashes home the 3, and the Knights go up by 1 with under 2 minutes to go till half. But Snider would have the last laugh, at least of the first half. Michael Ely, the acrobat himself, throws it down. Maybe a Player of the Night contender. Panthers up by 1 going into the break. Out of the break, DeMarcus Hudson making sure he gets on the highlight reel. That was a student section approved dunk. Knights up by 2. Off the inbound, Dylan Duff taps it in, and the fast break is going to the Snider Panthers. Off the fast break, John Peterson at the end of the third. Luers decides to pop off as they go into the fourth with the largest lead of the game. Fourth quarter, Knights picking up where they left off. Nylan Thompson gets the second chance bucket, and he was the Knights' leading scorer. But a foul called on Thompson, and he would foul out for the fourth quarter. The Knights would have to do it without him. Snider taking full advantage of that. Fast break, Ely lobs the ball to Duff, who slams it home, ties the game at 72 apiece. Coach Roush loving what he sees. Luers holding it down though on the home court. Final seconds, Hudson sinks in the basket. Foul is called, and Luers ends up winning it 79-74.
Just came out, played our game. We had to go hard. We knew we had to get this one after losing that one on Southside on Tuesday. So we just played our game. It was amazing having this big crowd out here, everybody cheering, having the fans behind us, the student section. It was just lovely.
We knew we slacked off on Tuesday, and we just wanted to pick up our momentum and keep playing hard and just working on us, and that's what we did tonight. We played us.
What does this game mean going into the rest of the SAC regular season?
It means everything. We just needed this one. We go finish out against Northside and then tie for the SAC championship.
Just heading to the rest of the season, we're just looking to work on us, playing the game, taking it game by game as we always have, and then building up momentum into sectionals.
Carroll part of the pack that started the night, a game back of Snider from the SAC lead. Chargers hosting their neighbor to the south, the Northrop Bruins. Ryan Preston, Quaylen Pettis for 3, and Glenn, we're going to send that back over to you.
Yeah, I'll do those highlights. How about this one? Northrop battling Carroll, and like you said, Ryan Preston doing things off the bounce, off the pass. It's Ryan Preston for 3, and Carroll looking pretty darn good in the early going. How about Quaylen Pettis? Yeah, he's a senior. He's tough. The 6'4" senior had 16. That leads the Bruins, but Preston can't leave the kid open. He drills a 3, and Carroll up 5 after 1. It was 14-9. Second quarter, how about 6'7" senior Devin Baney? Carroll doesn't have a lot of size, and that could be deadly right there. He cuts the deficit to 2, but Richie Gross, one of those interchangeable parts for the Chargers. He had 20, did Gross, as Carroll up by 4 in the second. Then Ray Volmer with the 3. He had 12. You'll see Mr. Preston do it again. He had 12 as well as Carroll wins at home, 72-56 over Northrop. Homestead heating up with a win at Wayne on Tuesday. The Spartans at the cage to face a 9-8 Concordia team. First quarter, Sparty's Alec Grinsfelder. Grinsfelder grinding down low for a deuce. Pretty good from the senior right there. But the Cadettes on their home court, they're not going to make it easy on you. Braden Pearson, good from long distance. Luke Goody, known for his shooting, but the kid can drive it as well. Goody had 11, did the junior. And Homestead, pretty happy facing Phil Brockman's team. Now, Arnaud Samardzic rings up a triple for the men in maroon, but simply too much Sparty. You're going to see Caleb Colpine with the drive to the rack. Homestead wins 54-40, so now we got 4 teams tied for the SAC lead at 6-2 in conference. In Homestead, Carroll, Lures, and Snyder next week is going to be nuts. Southside at Wayne, Archers coming off a nice win over Lures on Tuesday night. We picked this one up with Quincy Miles, and Miles, right from your living room, drains the long 2. Later, it's Ashton Johnson for the guys in green. He had 20 on the game. That would lead the Archers. Then it's Michael Redding, the senior. Lefty stroke from deep. He had 25 on the game. That would lead everybody. The Generals up 12-9. Trevion Jones is really coming to his own this season. He had 14, but you're going to see Miles get to the cup here. He had 20 points as Wayne wins a good one over Southside, 62-56. Last up in the SAC, Northside at Bishop Dwenger. The Saints beat the Legends by 14 in the SAC Holiday Tournament. Could they do it again? Well, Northside was up 26-23 at the half, and then Brayshawn Bassett there in the third gives the Legends a 5-point lead. Xavier Nolan had himself a nice game for the Fighting Kostoffs. He gets the deuce, and then a good look inside from Nolan to Owen Shively. Dwenger down by just 1. Gary Andrews and company trying to answer the call. It's Bassett, the freshman, all net on the triple, but Braden Groves answers. Leave it up. He nailed the 3, but Bassett, watch this pass here. The freshman with a sweet dish to Jacob Lambert for the deuce. 39-38, those Saints in the lead, and you're going to see Nolan do work here. He had 18.7 rebounds, 5 assists, did Xavier Nolan, as Dwenger wins a chippy ball game 60-48 over the Legends. Norwell clinching at least a share of the NE8 title last Saturday. Tonight, a win at Huntington North, and the Knights would finish undefeated in league play and win the conference title outright. Huntington North not making it easy, though. That was Zach Hubbard with the 3. And then it's Hubbard again with the 3. He had 15 points. We're in the fourth quarter, and it's just a 40-37 Norwell lead after that bucket. Well, the senior class from Norwell is something special. Drew Fetterspiel gets Norwell a 5-point lead with that deuce. Down the stretch, watch the great save there by the Vikings. They get it to Devin Newcomb. He buries the 3, but it's a 42-40 Norwell lead. Newcomb had 16, but Will Geiger, he led everybody. He had 20. The big senior with a big bucket as Norwell holds off Huntington North 49-47. The Norwell Knights finish undefeated in conference. They win the outright conference championship.
It's awesome, especially being a senior. I mean, that's just one of the ways I want to end the season, being conference champs, especially since we haven't done it in at least 10 years. It's a great feeling.
It increases our confidence like a lot. It just proves how good we are, and so teams can't take us lightly.
We just have a lot of guys that sacrificed a lot to earn this and to win this. We've had great senior leadership from Will Geiger, Connor Torson, and Drew Fetterspiel, and I'm just so happy for our players.
Last year's NE8 champ, the East Noble Knights at Armstrong Arena. Knights facing New Haven, third quarter. Jakar Williams, watch out. Jakar with the big slam. New Haven up 46-25. Hayden Jones, though, how many times have we seen him in football and basketball in the highlight zone? The senior lays it in, but it's still a 21-point lead for the Bulldogs. Darion Brooks, we're going to see a lot more of this guy. He's only a freshman. Basketball's in the veins. He gets the deuce right there. 23-point lead for the Bulldogs. Nate Dickinson, one of the best shooters in the NE8, drills the 3. But you're going to see Jakar Williams getting to the cup and tipping this one in as New Haven wins big, 73-52. Mitchell Wilson recently became Columbia City's all-time leading scorer, the old record of 1,646 points set by Bill Schwartz in 1960. Wilson and company hosting Leo. That was Blake Davison for 2, and then it's DJ Allen for 2 of his 19. That would lead the Lions, but hey, Mitchell Wilson, the kid, can score. He gets the left. That was the righty bucket right there. And then you're going to see Wilson do it again, absorbing contact. He would lead Columbia City with 16 points, but simply too much Leo. They got a lot of firepower. It's Blake Davison. He had 15 as Leo wins at Donald S. Weeks Gymnasium 50-42 tonight. We are going to take a quick timeout, but when we come back, one of the biggest games of the year in the NECC. We're talking a battle of top 10 powerhouses in 2A. Westview making the drive to Prairie Heights. Meanwhile, Busco looks to keep its conference title hopes alive against Hamilton. We also got trips to Eastside, Belmont, Southern Wells coming up next in The Zone.
Hi, this is Deshaun Thomas, Mr. Little grad, professional basketball. Happy 25th anniversary, Highlight Zone.
We're the Prairie Heights Panthers,
and we're roaring into the Highlight Zone. Let's go!
Would they have a lot to cheer about after tonight's game? That is the big question, as coming into this night, there was a logjam atop the NECC boys standings. 3 teams leading the way with only 1 loss in conference play, 2 of them squaring off tonight in LaGrange. Westview ranked 5th in this week's 2A state poll. Prairie Heights ranked 7th in 2A. Logan Carr kicking it to Ethan Hoover, kicking it to Mike Perkins, and yeah, Perkins can shoot the 3 ball. We're tied at 19 in the first quarter. This one high scoring in the early going, but that was Brady Yoder in the second quarter, giving Westview a 3-point lead. Gavin Culler to Elijah Malone, back to Culler, and it is knotted up again at 22. You're gonna see Lyndon Miller. No, Charlie Yoder. Yeah, Yoder had 20. And Westview wins a key contest against Prairie Heights, 64-57. Hamilton coming off a win. The Marines hosting Busco, and it's 6-1 in conference. The Eagles looking to stay in that title hunt with Westview. Busco's Jackson Paul dishing it to Grace Kelly and Machine Gun. Drills the 3 to open up the scoring in this one, and Busco was off and running. Later, it's Jackson Paul. Recently went over 1,000 points for his career, which is awesome because he's, only a junior. It was 15-2 right out of the gate for the Flying Eagles. Hamilton trying to make something happen. Ryan Cool. What a name. And what a bucket. But it's too much Busco. Keep your eye on the basketball. Paul looking to the big guy, Landon Jordan, and whoo, he throws it down. Gotta love it if you're a Busco fan. They put up 108. Busco a winner, 108-38. Garrett at Eastside, FYI, Blazers moved their game at the old gym to February 25th against Adams Central. Mark it down. Third quarter, that's Noah Johnson with the bucket. Eastside up 34-11. Then it's Gavin Peppercorn with a little jumper right there for Ryan Abbott's club. It's 36-13 Blazers in the lead. Now Garrett's top player all season long has been Jaden Broadnax, and he looked good again tonight. Broadnax pulling up on the break. He had 26 points. That would lead everyone. But going the other way, you're going to see Hugh Henderson come up with the layup and one. He had 12 for Eastside as the Blazers win 71-40 over the Big Train. Down in Decatur, Angola at Belmont. Hornets led by interim coach Josh Sheets after Ed Bentley stepped down last week. First quarter action, it's Angola working the break. Ryan Parrish to Joel Knox for the layup, and the Hornets up by 4 in the early going. How about Belmont? Not to be denied at home. Brock Hamilton from behind the arc, and the Braves take a 1-point lead. More from Belmont. You're going to see Caden Staub pass to Nick Ellsworth. That's good basketball. Belmont up by 3. How about the aforementioned Brian Parrish? This time he doesn't pass it. He shoots the triple. It's in, but Angola falls to Belmont as the Braves win 48-37. Down at the Raider Dome in Pinedo, Southern Wells hosting ACAC tournament champ Woodland. First quarter, the Raiders get off to a good start, especially from behind the arc. This is Dylan Junk. They got Junk in the trunk, or in the basket at least. 3-0 Raiders out of the gate. Aiden Bayman, though, has been doing it all year long off the good feed right there for Woodland. And then it's Joe Reedy, the sophomore, getting the deuce on the inside for Woodland as Woodland takes a 1-point lead. How about Mr. Junk? Got to get out on him. He drains the three. That's his second triple of the game, and we're just in the first quarter. Brennan Donovan gets a bucket there for Woodland as Woodland goes on to win 69-54 in Toledo. Hey, we got more Highlight Zone, including your Play of the Week, coming up next.
We're the Haven Bulldogs, and we're watching the Highlight Zone.
Roses are red. And violets are blue. And the Highlight Zone is here for you.
So settle down and don't freak.
Or let your Valentine's Day be bleak. And here's your Play of the Week.
That is poetry. That is poetry. You gotta love it from those fans, but you gotta love this too, especially on Valentine's Day. How about Jakar Williams from New Haven? This is in the third quarter against East Noble. He was taking it down at Armstrong Arena as New Haven earns a big win over East Noble in NE8 play. Congratulations to Jakar Williams and the Bulldogs. That is your Highlight Zone Play of the Week. So here's a look at next Friday's schedule in the SAC. Carroll is at Homestead. Southside is at Snyder. I believe Bishop Brewers will also take on Northside. So, man, we're going to have to get out the old abacus and figure out who can win the SAC and how. We got a week to figure it out, but we'll definitely be doing that here on the Highlight Zone. You also got Jay County at Norwell, Lakewood Park at Leo, and Wabash at Whitco. Staying on the court, rare Friday night game for the Mastodons. The Dons up in Fargo to face North Dakota State, NDSU. Not looking good there. That was Matt Holba for your Dons. And then you're going to see Jared Godfrey. He had 20 on the game. Holba had 13. This is Vinny Shahid with the deuce. He would be a fly in the Dons' ointment tonight. But at the half, right before the halftime buzzer, Marcus DeBerry from half court. Unfortunately, the Dons cannot pull out a win in Fargo. They fall 80-70. Moving on to some hockey. You're not going to believe this one. We're talking the Comets down 3-0 entering the third, right? But you can see they have some fight literally and figuratively. It's now 3-1. Max Gottlieb with the goal, and it's now a 3-2 game. The K's only down 1 after being down 3-0. Then Sean Sidlowski with a power play goal, and what? We're not at 3-all? Yeah. How about Anthony Petrozelli doing it for the Comets? That is the go-ahead goal, and it actually is your game winner. Comets took a 4-3 lead there. They would add an empty netter as the Comets come from down 3-0 in the third period to go on to win by a final of 5-3 over the Indy Fuel. The K's are going to hit the road tomorrow night to play the Wheeling Nailers in Wheeling, and that win tonight could be a game that turns around the final third of the season for the K's as they look to make a push to the ECHL playoffs. They came in tonight in fourth place in the ECHL Central Division, just a few points behind the Indy Fuel. Well, that is going to do it for this week's edition of the Highlight Zone. The SAC, man, it is the Wild West. Pretty much everybody else has wrapped up a conference championship, and we'll try to sort it out all next week, next Friday, right here on The Zone. We'll see you then.